This is so fun being here. Being up here all by myself. Hi, welcome to Drinks with Leaders. I am Erin. If you're here, you're probably here to see Scott as well. Or sometimes maybe just Scott. I'll never understand that, but just kidding. Scott is on vacation and he was going to be here today, but apparently the service doesn't work very good from the beach. So you're stuck with me today, but we've got some incredible guests. So welcome. If you are here, let us know if you're watching from Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. Are you watching live or are you watching the replay? I am so excited you're here. I think that next week, if you're watching from Kansas City, which most of our viewers do, next week school goes back. So let us know, what does life look like starting next week? I've got teenagers, so it looks very, very different between the summer and the weeks. So it's kind of a crazy week. I feel like a lot of people are taking a last minute vacation, as well as a lot of people are just trying to cram everything in. So luckily, if you're watching the replay, let us know that too, so I can see some of you are already watching. Paul says he would have been happy to co-host. Paul, it was a last minute thing. Scott was planning on doing it. I think he just thought it was too late to call anyone, but you are always welcome here with your jokes. Where are you today, Paul? You always tell us where you are. All right, here we are. You don't have to listen to me very long. I just want to thank our sponsors, Bestway and International and Evardy Construction. They have been our sponsors now for 2 years in a row. They are the very best. I don't have one of Scott's metaphors for them, but please check them out. Bestway International hosts Cargo Cafe every single month over on their page. So if you are in any sort of business that is having to deal with tariffs or shipping or anything like that, that is a great conversation. And I say it's almost Evardy season, because when it starts getting around that November, that donating, I just want you to watch from the sidelines. Evardy puts so much money back into our city. It's crazy. All right, guys, here we go. I am going to bring in our co-host because there's nothing, our co-host. I'm going to bring in our guest because it's just awkward to talk to yourself. So here we are. Today, we're just going to go ladies first. We're going to do round robin. We've got Eric and Michael. Hi, guys. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for making me not be alone today. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having us on.
All right, here is the deal. We're going to start. No clock today because we don't want it to go over Michael's face. I think that's a fair assessment.
Appreciate that.
So make sure if you have questions for them, we're going to have a little extra time today. So make sure you ask your questions over here in the comment box. But Ari, let's start with you. Who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
Love it. Thank you again for having me. So my name is Evardy DeGrote. I am founder and CEO of Upward and Inward, or You and I, because it's all about connection. So what we basically do is we guide leaders and teams, organizations from disconnection and kind of uncertain complacency to connected impact. So very passionate about collaboration, radical collaboration, and how we move the ball further through innovation and a lot more. I also am a mom, so I have a kiddo starting kindergarten next week, so that'll be a fun new season. And how I got to Kansas City, I think, gosh, I was working with a large manufacturing company that moved me around quite a bit. I was in Virginia Beach, then Baltimore, then Kansas City, leading change from within that organization. And I came here for that because they have a plant in North KC. And I learned about, I was supposed to go to Dallas, somebody moved last minute, and then that became the opportunity. And I'm like, let's see what Kansas City has. And I fell in love. I just loved it ever since. So it was like 2009. So I came at a really good time when they were building everything up. I had a wonderful spot, like kind of in the Westport, like in between all the cool stuff happening. And it was, saw the startup scene and all of that. So that got interwoven into my story as well.
Where were you originally from?
Ohio, around small town Trenton, outside of Cincinnati. So there are a lot of similarities, actually, Cincinnati and Kansas City. So, yeah.
You and the Kelseys. Can you talk a little bit more about what your company does?
Yes.
And who your first client looks like?
So right now I do primarily work with teams. So there are a couple key archetypes that are coming out here. So one are like the layer of emerging leaders, people who are those high potential employees already leading. They're the next wave. If you're looking for succession, like that gap in current leadership, and you see the potential, but there's maybe the folks are coming at it from a high achiever perspective versus like a leadership and collaborative systems perspective, organizational perspective. I have a year-long program for that that I work with folks. And so they get supported in a group environment. And then I go really deep with individual impact coaching. The other archetype that is coming out is teams, leaders, again, but existing leaders who are either facing a rise in conflict internally, or kind of stagnation, complacency, and they're craving more proactive action. And I do think if you scan the environment right now, like we need more adaptive leaders. The outer circumstances are getting more and more complex. And so waiting to be told what to do isn't quite like the old solutions don't work. So we need people who can scan the environment, be proactive with solutions, work with other people, and then try things and adapt quickly. So that's what my programs train.
Is there any size, last question, sorry, is there any size company or industry?
Yeah, industry agnostic so far. I'm finding a sweet spot around 200 employees. And then I work with a subset of those groups. Like typically 10 would be going through one of my programs at a time. We could do more. I think it would start to break at maybe 30 just for the interconnections and the deep conversations. But yeah, so there's some range there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, thank you for the question.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. All right, Michael, who are you? What do you do? How do you get to Kansas City?
Yeah, my name is Michael Fry. I'm the co-founder, co-owner of Brown Button Estate Sales and Circle Auction. No big journey to get here. I grew up in Olathe, so I'm a native Kansas Cityan and been here my whole life. I think I've moved a grand total of about 8 minutes from the place I grew up, so maybe a little boring in that respect. But with Brown Button and Circle, we work with high net worth individuals when they move and downsize. So we handle luxury estate sales in folks' homes, and then we also handle very high value items through Circle, and Circle sells items all around the world. So we've sold and shipped 76 countries around the world, all items originating in Kansas City. So fun thing. I love what Evardy does just because we're a culture focused company. That's something that's really important to us. And so it's a lot of fun being on the show with her today.
Okay, so how long have you had this business?
We've been around since 2014. I had got out of a previous company, went to a bad estate sale and said, this is kind of weird, and figured out that was kind of normal. And so we naively thought we could do it completely different, which means that we almost closed twice in the first 3 years. But at this point, we've hit the Inc. 5000 twice, and we have a staff of about 45. We do somewhere between 2 and 4 projects a week.
So you kind of were disruptive to the industry, I would say.
You know, I'd like to say that. It's kind of a mom and pop thing. Most are underinsured or part-time. We have seen the estate sale industry in Kansas City elevate just by our presence here. And then we've got to do a couple fun things. We helped start a national trade association, a nonprofit for our industry, just to say, hey, let's all be better. And then we've got to present at the last couple national conferences, which is pretty fun too. Just saying, hey, as an industry, we can look different. It's 2025. You don't need a cash box from Walmart.
That's so funny. A couple quick questions. Do you guys just do estate sales in Kansas City right now?
You know, we are in the middle of launching St. Louis. So that's a long time coming for us. We laid all the groundwork in 2019 for a spring of 2020 launch. So obviously bad timing there. But we're revisiting that this year. We have a general manager there. We're up and running. So it's kind of fun to branch out from Kansas City.
Which Olathe school did you go to?
Olathe North. Go Eagles.
All right. Go Hawks. We're an East family.
Okay.
And are you related to to the other Fries.
I am not. Get asked all the time. I know the guys who run Fry Orthodontics. No relation. We're my extended family's all from Texas. So
I'm a Fulk, and there's Fulk chiropractic out here, and I'm not one of those. So
right. There you go.
I get you. I just had to ask. So awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. All right, Ari, we're back to you. What is the most pivotal point in your career so far?
Yes, I saw this question. I've pivoted a few times, so this is kind of tricky. Very quickly, did the first chunk of my career kind of leading the human side of change within companies. And then I found the startup community and started doing ecosystem work within an innovation. Sprint became T-Mobile. I helped run the accelerator and develop the leadership growth program for founders. So that was all pretty big shift. But I went out on my own last June to develop Upward and Inward. And that would have to take the gold star right now, because it has been just the most intense growth, rapid transformation, so rewarding, really scary. It's all the things. And I think I would have done it sooner had I not been like coaching one-on-one hundreds of founders in their anxiety moments. I kind of knew that part of it. And I'm like, ooh. And then I decided to go ahead and do it. And it has been that and more. I've been surprised in a lot of ways. But what is cool is that I did it really intentionally to stitch together kind of the two chunks of my 20 years of the leading the human side of change, human development, the organizational lens, to the rapid innovation and jumping into creating possible futures that we all need and want. And I think there was just a deeper, I was sensing it myself, kind of noticing, putting my head above the water and seeing a lot of disconnection. I was feeling disconnected from self, from like what I was actually doing for a bit there, and others seemed disconnected from each other. So I think there was a big opportunity, and that's a lot of what Upward and Inward, our mission is to reconnect with impact.
I love that. Do you feel like that disconnect piece, right? Post-COVID, do you feel like you were just set up in a good, like that helped you get there quicker, I guess is what I'm trying to ask?
I think it really was it was a forcing function. It was just such extremes, a lot of different shifts in the world happening at one time that it became really evident. And I think I had less tolerance to sit in that like complacency. I'm like, okay, it's time to do something different. And had it just trickled in, who knows? Because I loved where I was and I loved the people I worked with. And, that could have been really fulfilling. But yeah, no, I think it was the catalyst.
All right, Michael, what was the most pivotal point in your career?
So I have been self-employed now for 21 years. So I think I'm unemployable by definition.
Me too.
So total of 4 companies started in that time. And my second company crashed and burned, just went down in flames. I had put a year and a half, 2 years into it. Partnered with an industry expert, and I brought the business side. And the beginning of the end was the day I found out my business partner was embezzling. And common tale, but true, I guess. But through significant failure, you learn way, way more than you do through success. And so one of the reasons we're a culturally focused company today is how bad the culture was at that organization, largely due to my business partner, due to how he showed up every day. And it should have been a red flag. And so, yeah, lots of learning there. I think you learn far more through failure than you do through, success and everything going the right way.
What industry when you were younger did you think you'd end up in? Because it couldn't have been where you're at.
I know, both a chef at one point and then a marine biologist. Those dreams were dashed the day as a teenager I did deep sea fishing and barfed for 3 hours. So that was the end of the dream for marine biology that day.
I have a son going to college, and he has a couple of friends from Olathe. He's a couple of friends going to college for marine biology, and it always surprises me when people in Kansas set out on that dream.
Yeah.
So awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, Miss I unmuted you, unmuted me. First of all, how are we in August? It's mind blowing to me. But how are you doing on your 2025 goals now that we're halfway done with the year? And how can the Kansas City community help you?
So yeah, it's shocking. We're in August. Right before we started this, I was kind of sharing since this is my first full round of a year, I started in June of last year. And that was a good time to ramp up. And I knew it was a little bit dead, but man, the summer B2B has been really interesting. And then it's like everybody came back online like the last week or two, and so it's flowing again a little more naturally. And so that part has been going really well, conversational, lots of interesting opportunities, conversations. People are ready to do business and grow, and that is amazing. But I think the help, and I love this question because of so much of the work I did, like through entrepreneurial support and the ecosystem work. It really does take a village, and like knowing people and understanding the problem and matching the person, the solution, and the problem. So I think it's just more, I am very much about one-on-one coffees and collaborations. I love hearing what people are up to so I can better connect others when I'm out and about. I'm doing a lot of those, like, it can be isolating when you're a solopreneur. And so that provides a lot of community in and of itself. But I think it helps to spur my brain around like, oh, this could be an interesting partnership. This could be an interesting business opportunity. So of course, the obvious one is if anything I said, if you or somebody has a team of leaders that is kind of looking to go past their own growth edge, merging leaders, existing leaders, I would love to have a conversation to learn more. I think the other piece is just sharing, staying in contact around what you're learning in the community of entrepreneurship, and having that kind of camaraderie, because if you don't have people to connect with who kind of get it, it can be really exhausting and lonely and boring. So yeah, I invite conversations.
What's the best way for people to schedule a coffee with you? Where do they reach out to you at?
My email, LinkedIn, email I'm happy to give is area@upwardandinward.com. I also have the scheduler like everyone else, but yeah, any way you can reach out.
Okay, cool. All right, Michael, how are your 2025 goals going? And how can the Kansas City community help you get there?
Not too bad, actually. Again, we've long wanted to expand beyond Kansas City, so we're up and running in St. Louis. The other thing that we've done is, at 14 years in business, 900 estate sales under our belt, we branched out this last year and started doing online estate sales. So kind of a different thing for different folks. If you can't do a traditional, you can't move out of your house, you have a smaller sale. So just know that we have lots of different resources, lots of different ways that we serve people here in Kansas City. If you know someone with a high-end piece or a half a household full of stuff, we can certainly help them there. Hey, before I go, I want to put a plug in for two great entrepreneurial communities in Kansas City. Both are awesome. Been a part of both. Pipeline is one and Hemp is the other. If you're a business owner looking to grow your company, check into both of those organizations. Both of them have had a huge influence in the success that our company has had, and I would recommend them.
I love that. I do have one quick question for you. What did you guys do in the estate sale space during lockdown and COVID time?
We were one of those companies where PPP probably saved our company. And so we were able to keep our whole staff. We were shut down for 2 months. And then as soon as the market opened up again, real estate was going crazy. And so people were calling us and I said, hey, look, I don't know that I can get a single person to show up. I'm willing to try. And the second half of 2020 was absolutely gangbusters for us. We leaned pretty hard into protective measures, and we were setting up registers in the garage, and tape on the sidewalk and all that silly stuff that probably goes in the same bucket as washing your groceries, but we all did it. So yeah, thankfully we survived because real estate was so strong.
Well, and best place to get a hold of you at?
LinkedIn's probably great. I'm Michael at Brown Button as well.
Cool. I just dropped your guys' names so you guys can see how to spell everybody's name. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on here so much. I really do. Paul wanted to say real quick, go Lancers. Which one's that, Paul? I don't know him well enough.
Fighting words.
What?
Fighting words.
Fighting words. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you to Bestway International and Evardy Construction for being the best sponsors ever. Thanks to Scott for leaving me all by myself. Just kidding. He'll be back same time, same place next week. We will see everybody later. Make sure you connect with Ari and Michael. Bye.
Yes.
Thank you.